China's activities in the Pacific have been put in the spotlight following a deal with the Solomon Islands. In fact, Beijing's involvement in the region is nothing new. Over the next decade, both China and the United States are looking to secure their position as the leader of the Asia-Pacific region. However, the United States has come to the party too late and is offering too little. China is the economic powerhouse of Asia and is the key member in the region's three most important trade agreements. In contrast, the United States is not a member in a single one of them. These factors will make America's bid to overthrow China's influence in the region very difficult. So why did the Pacific choose China? Over the years, what efforts has China made to impress Pacific countries? Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hot Topics Time, a channel to interpret news from a new perspective and explore the wisdom behind the news. Before we start today's video, please subscribe to our channel, which is the encouragement that we can create more videos. Okay, let's continue the topic we are talking about. In fact, China has been operating in the region for years, signing agreements on everything from airport runways, roads, and stadiums to education, fishing, and more. Some observers worry that Beijing aims to fund infrastructure projects in key strategic locations that would later give Chinese troops access to local airports and seaports. But others said Chinese investments in roads, schools, and hospitals also benefited locals. Someone has questioned why China is so active in supporting Pacific Island nations. In response, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi stressed that China is not a newcomer in the region. Why did the Pacific choose China? I think we can get the answer from Foreign Minister Wang Yi's recent visit to the Pacific. Okay, let's take a look. From May 26 to June 4, Wang Yi was invited to visit several South Pacific Island countries and East Timor, and visited almost all Pacific Island countries that have established diplomatic relations for 10 days. His visit schedule has reflected China's sincerity and commitment to deepening the comprehensive strategic partnership with the countries, featuring mutual respect and common development. In fact, China and Pacific Island countries enjoy a time-honored friendship, with their connection dating back over 100 years ago when Chinese immigrants came across the ocean and took roots in local communities. Since the establishment of diplomatic relations in the 1970s, China and its Pacific counterparts have expanded bilateral exchanges and cooperation in more than 20 areas, including trade, ocean affairs, environmental protection, poverty alleviation, and public health, among others. The shared aspiration for development has injected strong momentum into the growth of China-Pacific Island countries' relations. The island countries, like other developing countries, are still facing numerous challenges yet to overcome, while China, the largest developing country that has accumulated a great deal of experience in socio-economic development, is always ready to lend a helping hand. China is ready to help Pacific Island countries find a development path of poverty reduction suited to their own national conditions, so that they can better cope with major public health events and natural disasters, and enhance the capacity to cope with climate change, said Chinese President Xi Jinping in a phone conversation with Manasseh Sogavare, Prime Minister of the Solomon Islands, in September 2021. China has pledged to help the island countries build a climate-resilient blue economy and provide training opportunities through the China-Pacific Island Countries Climate Change Cooperation Center. In addition, China has implemented nearly 500 complete plant projects, technical assistance, in-kind assistance, and concessional loan projects in Pacific Island countries, helping them build infrastructure such as roads, bridges, wharfs, hospitals, and schools, and train about 10,000 professionals in various fields, according to a position paper issued after the ministers' meeting on Monday. Most importantly, China's assistance and cooperation are free of political conditions, proving it is a trustworthy friend and partner. Unlike the US and its allies like Australia, or international bodies like the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank, Beijing usually does not tie its aid to economic and governance reforms, read an Al Jazeera report released recently. Furthermore, China has been working with Pacific Island countries to achieve common development and prosperity without targeting at anyone. From 1992 to 2021, trade volume between China and Pacific Island countries having diplomatic relations with China registered an average annual increase of 13% and expanded by over 30 times. Those who are too obsessed with the Monroe Doctrine and the idea of a sphere of influence should respect the rights of the Pacific Island countries as a sovereign nation to manage their own affairs and make decisions in their own best interests. For friends in need, China is always a friend indeed. Stronger cooperation between China and its Pacific partners will not only serve the interest of both sides, but also ensure the peace and stability of the entire region. Next, I will take you to see how China helps these countries in order to make them choose China firmly. First, Solomon Islands. Soon after the Solomon Islands established diplomatic relations with China in 2019, it signed several agreements with Beijing, including Chinese companies helping to upgrade 30 local airstrips. It's part of a grand plan to transform the country into a regional aviation hub. One project under construction is a Chinese-funded national stadium. The project was designed for the country to host the 2023 Pacific Games, said Tess Kane of Griffith University's Pacific Center. That's important because the government is pinning the post-pandemic economic recovery on the Games, which are a focal point for national pride, economic activity, and tourism. Then, Kiribati. China has signed documents with Kiribati to enhance cooperation, involving cooperation in various aspects such as the joint construction of the Belt and Road, climate change, livelihood projects, and disaster reduction. Concerned by the West about China's plans to help upgrade local airstrips, Kiribati said it was a non-military project aimed at boosting local tourism. Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea formally established diplomatic relations with China in 1976 and is the largest recipient of Chinese aid in the region. China has committed to a road upgrade project that will help upgrade 11 roads connecting all parts of the country. This will be the largest Chinese aid program in the history of a Pacific Island nation, said Alexander Dayant of the Lowy Institute for International Policy. Samoa. Another key area of Chinese support for Samoa, and the wider Pacific region, is health. Beijing has dispatched 600 medical personnel to Pacific countries, providing 600,000 doses of vaccines and more than 100 tons of medical supplies. For Samoa, this includes personal protective equipment such as masks. In fact, long before the outbreak, China provided medical aid and nearly $1 million in medical equipment to Samoa hospitals. Tonga. One of the most important projects China has funded in the Pacific is the rebuilding of the central business district of the country's capital, Nuku'alofa, following the 2006 unrest in Tonga. Beijing provided more than $100 million in loans for the reconstruction. Fiji. After the 2006 coup in Fiji, the West imposed sanctions and a diplomatic freeze, while China provided a lifeline, a dramatic increase in aid, and a deepening of diplomatic ties. China has also provided Fiji with funding to tackle a range of climate problems, some of which are used to build a seawall to combat rising sea levels. To a conclusion, Pacific leaders have made it clear that it is not China but climate change that threatens their security, and they do not want to be drawn into geopolitical competition. What's more, Benjamin Franklin has said, "Honesty is the best policy." Although Washington is superior in discourse power, yet the world expects the U.S. to keep its words and deeds in carrying out cooperation and managing differences, not just say beautiful words to move itself. Okay, that's all for today. Please put your comments below and share your insightful ideas with other people. Thank you so much for your continuous support. Your precious time with us is highly appreciated. Hot Topics time to explore the wisdom behind the news. We will see you in the next video.